Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man, aka Prophet Howard, founder and overseer of the Church of the Most High. And this is the Sunday sermon. Now, y'all know I talk about all subjects. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. You won't get a fake preacher in a suit holding back, not saying what he really feel on here. You get me. And I try my best to keep it real. Sometimes people want to give. If you do, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. I must keep bringing these Sunday sermons, and it's perfectly fine, whatever you choose to do. But if you want to give, my Cash App is $ AYS Truth Blaster PH45, all one word. $A as in apple, Y as in you, S as in serpent, which we're talking about today. Truth Blaster PH45. And with that being said, let's get into the topic on today. I don't have my Bible, so I'm going to have to be scrolling through this phone. Just bear with me. The first scripture I want to go to is found in Daniel chapter 7. Verse 9. It says this, and if you wonder which translation I'm reading from, it's normally the NASB. Like today it's NASB, New American Standard Bible. Like that is the most, if not one of the most accurate translations into the English language that there is. You ain't gonna find a whole lot of spellcaster words in this translation. So it says, I kept looking, this is Daniel the prophet, until thrones were set up, and the Ancient of Days took his seat, and his garment was white as snow, and his hair and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was ablaze with flames. Its wheels were a burning fire. A river of fire was flowing and coming out from before him. Thousands upon thousands were serving him, and myriads upon myriads were standing before him. The court convened, and books were open. So, let's just keep reading. I don't want to confuse you. Then I kept looking because of the sound of the boastful words which the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast was killed and his body was destroyed and given to the burning fire. As for the rest of the beasts, their dominion was taken away, but an extension of life was granted to them for an appointed period of time. Now, it says, I kept looking in the night vision, and behold, with the clouds of heaven, one like a son of man was coming, and he came up to the Ancient of Days. I'm going to come back to that. Pay attention. And was presented before him, and to him was given dominion, honor, and a kingdom, so that all the peoples, nations, and populations of all languages might serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which will not pass away. His kingdom is one which will not be destroyed. So, this is entitled, I entitled this one, The Judgment of the Dumb. The Judgment of the Dumb. How will you escape? So let's go back to what was written here. The lake of fire was being described in detail. And it basically was saying that lake was coming from the throne. So remember, I told you, I gave y'all a description yesterday. See, heaven and earth as we know it is passing away. That's why it quakes. That's why, we have all these natural disasters more frequently as the days go by. because the Most High is reconstructing. He's reconstructing. And this is what Daniel was talking about right here. He gave us a description of it. He said, the Ancient of Days took his seat. Now notice, all of y'all that think the Messiah is one, the Messiah is God, Daniel don't agree with you. Daniel said that he came up to the God. Looking at verse, if you look up to, it's verse 13. It says, one like a son of man was coming, and he came up to the Ancient of Days and was presented before him. So I don't know exactly, like, I know it's some stories, like some parts of the gospel is fabricated, but based on this, the Son of Man, the prophet, who I believe it is the Messiah, and I believe that, yes, he was killed, but you got to do a little more research, because he was killed for many reasons. But, you know, people had a story, and I'm not going to knock them for it. So, and I'm not going to try to unseat what people believe. As long as you don't try to come at me dogmatically, that's, you know. So it says, a river of fire was flowing and coming out from before him. Now notice, it said his throne was ablaze with flames. Its wheels were a burning fire. A river of fire was flowing and coming out from before him. Now, you, if not already, have to be like these people mentioned in Daniel chapter 7, verse 10. Thousands upon thousands were serving him, and myriads upon myriads were standing before him. You don't want to be the ones that's standing before him. You want to be among the ones that's serving him. Because the ones that's standing before him, if you keep reading, let's go down. Because it says, but the saints of the highest one, this is verse 18, will receive the kingdom and take possession of the kingdom forever for all ages to come. So that's not the dumb. That's the smart. And the reason why I call them dumb is because it's easy. It's like you just got to humble yourself. The Bible says in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, if my people who are called by my name, who is that? That's everybody, will humble themselves and turn away from their wicked, seek his face, turn away from their wicked ways. He said he'll receive you. He said he'll hear from heaven. He said he'll bless you. He'll take away the curse, which we're going to talk about. And it says, but the court, this is verse 26, will convene for judgment, and his dominion will be taken away, annihilated, and destroyed forever. That's talking about the beast. And then keep looking down, verse 27. Then the sovereignty, the dominion, and the greatness of all kingdoms under the heaven, whole heaven, will be given to the people of the saints of the highest one. His kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom, and all the empires will serve and obey him. Remember what I told y'all? I described it to you. When that description I gave you was based on things that's been revealed, things that's been read, that I read, so on and so forth. So basically, they're going to be people that are going to have their own kingdom, basically. But all the kingdoms of the world is going to be different than now. The kingdoms of the world going to bow down to the Most High. They're going to meet with the Most High. They're going to deal with the Most High directly. Like now, all these kingdoms, they do their best to keep him out, or the false religion, or this or that. But they don't give the Most High his rightful place. They don't give the Son of Man, the Messiah, his rightful place. Instead, you got some trying to say he's God. You got these people saying that. These people saying that. Some people minimize who the Messiah is. Some people give him more credit than he gave himself, which is equally bad. And so the judgment of the dumb is coming. Now notice that he threw the beast in there. Like he threw, remember, this is basically a parallel to Revelation where it says the 1,000-year reign. One day is 1,000 years, 1,000 years is one day. During the 1,000-year reign, the devil is going to be captured again. See, before the 1,000-year reign, the devil is going to come out and going to kill the two prophets, the two witnesses, and they're going to lay in the street and people going to be watching it on CNN or whatever channels exist at that point. And then they're going to rise from the dead, and then they're going to come up with those of us who are already dead, who some of which will be killed because we're going to refuse to take the mark of the beast. And when you take the mark of the beast, you're going to be amongst the dumb. So Daniel chapter 7 just talks about all of this in detail. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 23. Matthew chapter 23. Let me see here. It comes right up because of, wait, hold on. It comes right up because I just put it in my phone and now my phone want to go crazy on me. Okay, so Matthew 23. Okay, this is what it says. It's using that name, that J name. It says, I take it. Then the Son of God spoke to the crowds and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees have seated themselves in the chair of Moses. Therefore, whatever they tell you, do and comply with it all. But do not do as they do, for they say things and do not do them. Verse 4. And tie up heavy burdens and lay them on people's shoulders, but they themselves are unwilling to move them with so much as their finger. And they do all their deeds to be noticed by other people. Sound like preachers, sound like content creators. For they broaden their phylacteries and lengthen the tassels of their garments. In our day, they all got, well, not all, they either super clean shaven, sharp as a tack, or they got beards, perfect beards. Y'all know, let me tell you something. I might get in trouble with the Most High, but I don't like having a full beard because I don't want to look like these other people. I'm not, and it ain't nothing against them if that's the look they want. That's just me. I don't want to look like them, especially the ones that's not serving God, the ones that's tied to the darkness. Don't want to look like them. But anyway, he said they love the place of honor at banquets and the seats of honor in the synagogues. How many celebrations do these pastors have to have, man? And personal greetings in the marketplace. Oh, Pastor so-and-so. Oh, I read your book. Your book is so great. Oh. That's what he's talking about. But as for you, do not be called rabbi, for only one is your teacher, and you are all brothers and sisters. And do not call anyone on earth your father, for only one is your father, he who is in heaven. And do not be called leaders, for only one is your leader, that is Christ. But the greatest of you shall be your servant. But the greatest of you shall be your servant. That's what he said. Whosoever exalts himself shall be humbled. Y'all hear that? With your Bugatti and your all the stuff you buy. Whoever exalts himself shall be humbled. See, this is why sometimes when you belong to the Most High, you go through things sometimes. Because as you start to go up, your humility gonna go up too. Like he gonna bring you down. You think, well, I'm a man, I'll never cry. Yeah, all right. Deal with the Most High. Deal with the Most High extensively. And let's see if you could say that. If you don't never cry, it's because you don't know God like that. The Most High will break you down, man. I'm telling you. He will break you down. He'll literally have you completely by yourself. And then it'll seem like he gone too, but he ain't. That's why he said, why hast thou forsaken me? Because that's what it feels like. See, some of y'all think because you got all these members, you ain't really experienced this yet. So go sit down somewhere. You ain't experienced what I've experienced, what Elijah had to experience, where he thought wasn't nobody with him, and all the rest of the prophets. If you ain't experienced this, you not a real prophet, man. If you're a real prophet, you already know what I'm talking about. I ain't even got to go into detail. You know how the Most High do you sometimes. And it's not for your bad, it's for your good. So going to verse 13. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you shut up the kingdom of heaven in front of people. For you do not enter it yourselves, nor do you allow those who are entering to go in. And they do this with all their false teachings. Oh, you can't eat a bacon sandwich, you're going to go to hell. All their false teachings. You better leave that bacon alone. The Most High don't like that. He gonna judge you. They don't go in themselves. He says, verse 15, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you travel around on sea and land to make one proselyte. A proselyte is basically a convert. You know how people go, preachers, like especially in the 90s, like how they was going everywhere preaching their own gospel, basically. He says, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of hell as yourselves. That's what been happening since the beginning. Woe to you, blind guides, who say, whosoever swears by the temple, that is nothing. But whoever swears by the gold of the temple is obligated. What he was saying right there, he was talking about how people make their own rules, basically. That's what he was talking about. Verse 17, you fools and blind men, which is more important? See, he going into detail. The gold or the temple that sanctified the gold? And you say whoever swears by the altar, that is nothing. But whoever swears by the offering that is on it is obligated. See, this is what preachers do when they command tithe. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about how people make their own rules. Verse 19, you blind men, which is more important, the offering or the altar that sanctifies the offering? Therefore, the one who swears by the altar swears both by the altar and by everything on it. And the one who swears by the temple swears both by the temple and by him who dwells in it. And the one who swears by heaven swears both by the throne of God and by him who sits upon it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe mint and dill and cumin. He ain't say nothing about money. And have neglected the weightier provisions of the law, justice and mercy and faithfulness. Think about it. How many times do you hear preachers talking about things that don't have nothing to do with salvation? That's what he's confronting them about. And that's what I'm telling you. Don't get caught in the judgment of dumb following these men. The judgment of the dumb following these men. Taking your mind off of what's really important. But these are the things you should have done without neglecting the others. You blind guides who strain out at a gnat and swallow a camel. Verse 25, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, for you clean the outside of the cup and the dish. How many people look clean on the outside? But all I got to do is just listen to you. Remember, I told you, all I got to do is just listen to you talk. Like some people, I just watch their videos because I really want to know what's going on with them. And out of the abundance of a person's heart, the mouth speaks. You talking about how spiritual and religious you are, yet you brag about how you look. Oh, I'm sexy. You wish you looked like me, all this. All right. See, I'm not the one to try to beg you out of that lake of fire. I'm not the one. I know the truth. I've been revealed that people supposed to go on their own. I'm going to let you burn yourself. But if you want to escape, I'm here for you. So he said, for you clean the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside they are full of robbery and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and of the dish, so that the outside of it may also be clean. See, people just want to look religious, talking about when they don't gamble, which ain't got nothing to do with what's in your heart. That's just money. You can't even take it into eternity. But yet their true feelings about people are bad. Now, it's one thing to have a righteous indignation and try to avoid people that might cause trouble for you. That's not that the Most High is not telling you to deal with foolish people close. But it's another thing when you hate these people, when you won't be there to help them get saved. See, that's what he's talking about. People want to talk about what they eat and how they keep the Sabbath, and they want to make sure their beard is according to the standard and all this and all that. No, the whole time he's looking at your heart. He's searching your heart. He wants you to clean the inside first. He wants you to clean the inside first. So, in other words, stop going to church, stop saying you believe, but yet you not letting the Most High show you how he wants you to live your life. You're not letting the Most High show you what he wants you to say, what he wants you to do. Instead, you creating your own version, talking about what you drink and what you eat and what you smoke. Now, mind it, you shouldn't be doing no drugs. That's common sense. But at the same time, how do you really feel about people? You can do everything, give to every function, everything. But if you racist towards blacks, or you racist towards whites, or you racist towards this group or that group, it's all in vain. It's all in vain. Or you'll kill somebody for not agreeing with you, it's all in vain. All in vain. Because as you can see, if you read the Bible, that's what the devil is going to be doing to people. People who don't take the mark, they're going to be killed. So you know who you been like when you harm people for not agreeing with you. So, verse 29, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you build the tombs for the prophets and decorate the monuments of the righteous. And you say, if we had been living in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partners with them in shedding of blood of the prophet. So he's saying basically, like kind of, for example, it's people in certain countries, I'm not going to name because all they're going to do is shadow ban, that they try to say they wouldn't have quite did things like they were done in the past. But he's saying basically that their heart is dirty. So yes, they would. Now, he said, verse 31, so you testify against yourselves that you are the sons of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up then the measure of the guilt of your fathers, you snakes, you offspring of vipers. How will you escape the sentence of hell? Then he was on their heels. You talking about being on somebody's heels. So let's deal with that word serpents, and we're going to try to wrap this up in like 10 minutes. Y'all listen to T.D. Jakes and all them longer than this. He called them serpents because serpents lead to disobedience, and serpents are disobedient. Now, let's go deeper into that definition of the word serpent. is defined as a sly or treacherous person, especially one who exploits a position of trust in order to betray it. I told y'all, the serpent already knew Adam and Eve, and the serpent was not a snake. The serpent wasn't a snake. In some languages, that means enchanted ones. Most of the definitions of a serpent describe a being, like a person, like. So it says, a wily or malicious person. In other cultures, serpents often represent the dual expression of good and evil. That explains why that tree was in the garden. Because when the serpent got kicked out of heaven, she said, well, if you give them the chance to choose, they're going to choose wrong too. So when she got kicked out of heaven, she was trying to plead her case. They going to choose wrong too. If you give them the opportunity of free will like I had, they're going to choose wrong too. And that's why that tree was there. But she deceived them into choosing wrong, just like she deceived the other sons of God into following her lead. Now, remember what he said. If you will enter into life, keep the commandments. James 1:27 says, pure religion and undefiled before God is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. Remember, love the Most High with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's what he's talking about. It's not telling you to give money out to everybody on the street that's asking, but it's telling you to support the programs that support them, and to create your own programs to support them. Don't give them money for drugs, but make sure they have somewhere to go to get. In a cold city like Milwaukee, they're going to need coats, they're going to need blankets, and I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready. I ain't going to give them no money for no drugs, but if I see one of them out there in the cold, I'm going to have blankets, man. And what they do with it, that's on them. That's between them and God. And then, like when a person is lonely, like, and their husband died, even if they're annoying, we still should be there for them. You know what I mean? Like don't, even if they don't know how to talk and don't know how to act, if their husband died, they're probably lonely. Don't just throw them to the dogs. That's what he's talking about. And I'm going to go to it in closing. Like, okay, that's Matthew 25. What time we at? We're at the 28-minute mark. We finna close real soon. It's 9:30. Okay, let's go to Matthew 25. This is what he was talking about. This is why he told the rich young ruler that to go sell all he had, because he knew that the rich young ruler, his glory was what he had, and he wasn't really helping people like he could have. So when you see people sitting on billions of dollars, you know they not really helping people like they could have. So, okay, let's go to, yeah, I know I gotta have an NASB version. Man, that's weird. Like, this phone is moving fast. The Most High didn't touch the phone. It never moved fast. So, okay, from verse 31. Then we got one more scripture and we're going to close. It says, but when the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, all the ministering spirits with him. I don't like using that word, angels. And then he will sit on his glorious throne, and all the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from one another, just as the shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep on his right, but the goats on his left. Verse 34, then the king will say to those on his right, come, you who are blessed of my Father. Y'all see that? Now, I showed you something in Daniel chapter 7. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. This is the church's job. Church's job ain't to have a Mercedes-Benz. The church's job is this right here. And that's why a lot of pastors ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna make it. Like how he wouldn't open them doors when the whole city was practically going down in a hurricane. Man, forget your church, man. That's what he talking about. That's what he talking about. Now, it says, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. See, this social media stuff, the devil know what she doing. Social media makes people anti-social. They don't even talk to each other like they used to. They don't make friends like they used to. If a person ain't cool according to the standard of the masses, they don't even want to talk to him. They laugh at him. They call him a lame. This is what he's talking about. You ain't gonna make it. You're gonna be in the judgment of the dumb. He said, let's go back to it. And it says, I was a stranger and you invited me in. How is anybody dealing with this loneliness thing? Like, how is anybody where people don't feel comfortable going and talking to somebody? They don't have nobody to talk to. You know why? Because y'all have, you took the good and you threw it in the trash. Now all you have is the evil. That's why the world is the way it is. And y'all admiring these leaders, admiring these people. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing that's in the Bible that they supposed to do? Show me a person that's going strongly by the Bible. Because it looked like to me that the one new world order is forming. It don't look like they going by this Bible. No, it says, he said, and you invited me in, naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. You know how you sick and people will come see you, not because they want to like make you feel better, but because they want to see just how sick you are. These people is evil. Me personally, I'm a inviting person. I'm a friendly person, but I'm not seeing the type of people that I want to be close to like that. These people are so selfish. They're so stingy. They not going to help you, man. And I look at that, like I look at, if a person is stingy, why should I try to be his friend? Like, even if I don't, like, let's say, even if I don't need something from him, why would I try to be his friend? If he's stingy, you know what I mean? So, looking at this, it says, I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer. It says the righteous will answer him. Master, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? And when did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king will answer and say to them, truly I say to you, to the extent that you did it for one of the least of these brothers or sisters of mine, you did it for me. Now look at verse 41. It says, then he will also say to those on his left, depart from me, you accursed people, into the eternal fire, which has been prepared for the devil and his angels. So you think, you've been deceived into thinking that somehow, some way, you're going to escape the judgment. And some of y'all, I know you done took the oath. You better break that oath. But it says, he went on to say, depart from me, you accursed people, into the eternal fire, which has been prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger and you did not invite me in. Naked and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison and you did not visit me. Then they did themselves also will answer, Master, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or as a stranger or naked or sick or in prison and did not take care of you? Then he answered, truly I say to you, to the extent that you did not do it for one of the least of these, you did not do it for me either. These will go into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. So the devil doesn't want me to have like the resources. That's the biggest battle I'm having, and I already know what it is. It's the devil basically making petitions to keep me down because she knows that I'm the real deal and that I will help people. I might not give you money for drugs, but if I had the resources some of these other pastors have, you best believe that it'll be some stuff up and they'll be trying to get rid of me. Because you know how the devil do. Look how she did the 2 witnesses in the future. Anytime you have somebody representing God like that, the devil is going to try to kill him. It happens like that every time. Now, one last scripture is Revelation chapter 21, verse 6. Or we just got to type in Revelation chapter 21 and just go to it. It says this. Then he said to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give water to the one who thirsts from the spring of the water of life without cost. The one who overcomes will inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. But for the cowardly and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and sexually immoral persons and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars, their part will be in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So you might be able to get them governments to keep me from telling you the truth. But when it's all said and done, you're going to be judged for all of that stuff that they protecting you from hearing the truth about. You're going to be judged for it. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know, if you read the Bible, especially if you, let's say you've been in church extensively, you don't have scriptures read to you, but yet you choosing the darkness. It's on you. I'm going to let you do it. It tells me to let the unrighteous be unrighteous still. I'm going to let you be unrighteous, but you're going to end up in the judgment of the dumb. You can listen to me and contact me, and I can help you, try to overcome some of these things. Or you can be one of the blinded people who think that God is just this softy who goes along with everything. So on that note, we're going to close. We're going to close it out. You can escape the judgment of the dumb. Don't be one of them ones that you just following everybody. You want everybody to be your friend. You fall in love with these chicks. Y'all hear me talking about them all the time. And so you become this guy who doesn't believe in God and doesn't follow the scripture and this, that, and the other. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Don't let nobody lead you away. See, that's what Solomon's problem was. He let him and his desires for women, he let them turn his heart away from the Most High. And some of y'all, that's all you think about is busting a nut. Yeah, I said it. You just want to bust a nut. You can bust a nut, but you shouldn't be allowing these things to put you in the judgment of the dumb. You know, that's why it says seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all those things shall be added unto you. You see how he gave David all those wives, like I tell y'all in 2 Samuel chapter 12? You think he won't put people in your path that's going to help you get the sauce off? Instead of you never praying, you never in your word, you not trying to get saved, your name ain't in the book of life. You just trying to look good in front of these people, impress these people. And you even turned your back on God for a little piece of this pie. That's dumb, man. That's dumb, man. You get in and you get out here and you fight for what you make. You don't go against the creator to have wealth and fame. But anyway, I think I said enough to help y'all. This is the Sunday sermon. The channel is the No Matrix, no being in the judgment of the dumb, no simping, all subjects channel. Thanks for watching.